Tonight, when the room goes dark, your brain will change. Not a little, a lot. 1 second, you are standing in a normal room, surrounded by furniture, walls, blankets, chargers, shoes, and all the quiet objects that seemed harmless a moment ago. Then the light disappears, and suddenly the same room feels different. The corner looks deeper. The hallway feels longer. A jacket on a chair becomes a shape your eyes keep checking. You know there is probably nothing there. You know this is your home. You know the door is locked, the windows are closed, and the strange shape is just fabric hanging over wood. So why does your body still react? Why does your heart get a little faster? Why does your skin listen? Why does your brain treat darkness like a warning, even when your modern mind knows better? The real answer is far stranger than fear, because darkness does not simply hide the world from you. Darkness reveals the age of your brain. Long before bedrooms, lamps, cities, locks, phones, and glowing screens, your ancestors lived inside a world where night was not empty. Night moved. Night breathed. Night had eyes.
For most of human history, sunset did not mean relaxation, scrolling, or sleep under a ceiling. It meant the rules of the world had changed. In daylight, your ancestors could see distance. They could read tracks. They could notice movement in the grass. They could watch the faces of other humans and the bodies of animals. But when the sun dropped, one of the most important human powers disappeared: vision. And your brain is built around vision more than you may realize. A huge amount of your thinking begins with seeing. Your eyes do not just take pictures. They send your brain a living map of threat, space, movement, food, faces, and escape routes. When that map vanishes, your brain does not calmly say, "There is less information now." It says, "Danger is easier to miss." That is different. That is why darkness feels heavy. It is not because your brain knows something is there. It is because your brain knows it does not know. And for an animal trying to stay alive, not knowing can be dangerous. Psychologist Daniel Kahneman described human thinking as having fast and slow systems. The fast system reacts before you carefully reason. The slow system checks, explains, and calms things down later. In the dark, your fast system gets louder. It does not wait for proof. It works with fragments. A sound, a shape, a change in air, a half-seen shadow. Then it makes a prediction. Maybe something is there. Maybe you should freeze. Maybe you should look again. This is not weakness.
This is old intelligence. Because in the world your brain evolved for, the cost of being wrong was not equal. If your ancestor heard a rustle in the dark and assumed it was nothing, but it was a predator, the mistake could end everything. If your ancestor heard a rustle and assumed it was a predator, but it was only wind, the mistake cost a little stress. That difference shaped you. Biologist Randolph Nesse has called this the smoke detector principle. A smoke detector is designed to make false alarms, because missing a real fire is much worse than being annoyed by burnt toast. Your fear system works the same way. It would rather scare you 10 times for nothing than stay quiet once when something real is nearby. So when you lie in bed and hear the house creak, your brain may not be malfunctioning. It may be doing exactly what millions of years trained it to do.
It is overprotecting you. It is guessing loudly. It is choosing the safer mistake. But darkness does not only remove vision, it changes sound. During the day, sound competes with traffic, voices, machines, wind, footsteps, music, notifications, and your own movement through the world. At night, the world becomes quieter. Small noises become large. A pipe clicks. Wood contracts. A refrigerator hums. A branch taps glass. Your brain is suddenly surrounded by tiny signals with no clear source. And the human brain hates unclear sources. It wants causes. It wants agents. An agent is something with intention. A person. An animal. A thing that can choose, chase, watch, or harm. In uncertainty, your brain often prefers to imagine an agent rather than a random event. That is why a shadow can feel like someone. That is why a sound can feel like footsteps. That is why darkness seems populated, even when it is empty. Psychologist Justin Barrett has argued that humans possess a highly sensitive agency detection system. In plain English, your brain is quick to ask, is someone there? That system helped ancient humans notice hidden living things, but it also means your mind can give intention to ordinary noise.
The curtain moves. Your brain whispers, who moved it? The floor creaks. Your brain asks, who stepped there? The closet is dark. Your brain wonders, what is inside? You may know the answers. Wind, wood, clothes. But knowing does not always erase feeling, because fear begins before explanation. Deep inside the brain is a small almond-shaped structure called the amygdala. It helps detect emotional importance, especially threat. The amygdala is not the whole fear system, but it is one of the brain's early warning centers. Neuroscientist Joseph Ledoux showed that threat signals can reach emotional circuits quickly, sometimes before your conscious mind has fully identified what you are seeing. This means your body can react to a shape before you know what the shape is. You jump. Then you look. Then you laugh. It was only a jacket. But the order matters. Your body moved first. Your explanation came second. That is why the dark can embarrass you. You feel afraid before you have approved the fear.
You become two minds for a moment. One mind says, this is ridiculous. The other says, check anyway. And the older mind usually wins first. There is also a deeper reason night matters. Your ancestors were not the strongest animals on Earth. They did not have claws like big cats. They did not have night vision like owls. They did not smell the world like wolves. They survived through cooperation, tools, fire, memory, language, and awareness. But at night, many of those advantages weakened. A stone tool is useful if you can see the hand reaching for it. A path is useful if you can see where it goes. A group is safer if you can see who is standing near you. Darkness breaks the clean edges of the world. It makes distance uncertain. It makes faces unreadable. It makes the familiar strange. And that strangeness is one of fear's favorite ingredients. Researchers who study fear often separate fear from anxiety. Fear is a response to a clear threat. A snake at your feet. A car swerving toward you. A dog baring its teeth. Anxiety is different. Anxiety is the feeling of possible threat. Something might happen. Something might be there. Something might go wrong. Darkness is powerful because it turns fear into anxiety.
It does not always show you the monster. It shows you the space where a monster could be. That empty possibility is enough. Your imagination enters the gap. And imagination is one of the human brain's most powerful tools. It lets you plan futures. It lets you rehearse conversations. It lets you build cities, stories, religions, laws, and machines. But in the dark, imagination can become a survival simulator. It fills missing information with possible danger. It draws teeth into shadows. It places footsteps inside silence. It gives the unknown a face. This is why children often fear the dark so intensely.
Their brains are still learning what is likely and what is not. Their imagination is vivid. Their sense of control is smaller. But adults are not free from this. Adults simply decorate the fear with better explanations. You may not believe in monsters under the bed, but you might imagine an intruder, a medical emergency, a strange noise downstairs, a message left unread. The monster changes shape. The ancient pattern stays. The modern world did something strange to this ancient fear. It gave you light on command. A switch. A lamp. A phone screen. A streetlight. For the first time in human history, darkness became optional for many people. But your nervous system did not evolve in a world where night could be deleted. Your body still carries old expectations. It expects darkness to matter. It expects sleep to be vulnerable. It expects the unseen to deserve attention. Anthropologist Polly Wiesner studied firelit evenings among the Juhwansi people of southern Africa and found that fire changed social life after sunset. Daytime talk often focused on practical matters. Nighttime firelight opened space for stories, rituals, emotions, and imagination. That matters because fire did not only protect bodies, it transformed minds. Around fire, the dark was pushed back just enough for humans to gather, but not enough to erase mystery. You can picture it, a small circle of orange light, faces glowing, the outside world black beyond the fire. The group is safe, but not completely. The dark is still there, listening.
That boundary between light and darkness may have shaped some of the oldest human stories. Stories about spirits, predators, ancestors, warnings, rules. The fire made storytelling possible, and the dark made stories feel necessary. Even today, scary stories work best at night. Not because the story changes, because your brain does. In daylight, a ghost story is entertainment. In darkness, it becomes a question. What if? Your body leans closer to possibility. Your mind listens for proof. And this is where the dark becomes more than fear. It becomes a mirror. Because what you fear in darkness is often not the dark itself. It is uncertainty. The dark is a physical version of not knowing. You cannot see what is ahead. You cannot fully read the room. You cannot predict the next shape. Modern life is full of darkness without being dark. A job interview, a medical test, a silent message thread, a future you cannot control, a relationship that feels different but has not been explained. Your brain reacts to these things with the same ancient pattern: missing information, possible threat, prepare, watch, imagine. This is why uncertainty can feel physically exhausting.
Your body is not only thinking, it is guarding. It is standing at the edge of the fire, staring into the black beyond it. The dark outside your window and the dark inside your future are not the same thing, but your brain sometimes treats them like cousins. Both hide information. Both invite prediction. Both wake the old alarm. That does not mean fear is always wise. Sometimes the alarm is wrong. Often it is wrong. The jacket is only a jacket. The creek is only a creek. The message was only missed, not meaningful. But the goal of the system was never perfect truth. The goal was survival. And survival systems are not designed to make you peaceful. They are designed to keep you alive. So the next time darkness makes your room feel strange, You do not have to shame yourself. You can notice what is happening. Your ancient brain is searching. Your fast system is guessing. Your amygdala is listening. Your imagination is filling blank space. Your body is choosing the safer mistake. Then you can add the modern layer. You can turn on a light. You can name the sound. You can breathe slowly. You can let your slow mind catch up. This is not about defeating the old brain. It is about understanding it. Because that old brain protected every ancestor who had to survive long enough for you to exist. Every person in your family line passed through nights with no electricity, nights with predators, nights with storms, nights with strangers, nights where a small sound could matter. They listened. They startled. They imagined. They survived. And now, in a locked room with a glowing phone beside you, you inherit the echo. A fear that once belonged to open plains, caves, forests, and firelight now appears beside your bed. It is out of place, but it is not meaningless. It is history moving through your nervous system. It is evolution speaking in goosebumps. It is the past asking you to look twice.
And maybe that is the strangest part. The darkness around you may be modern. A bedroom, a hallway, a quiet apartment. But the darkness inside your brain is ancient. So tonight, when the room goes dark, your brain will change. And now you know why.